no bullshit in this video. We're getting right to racing. All right, so I'm here at ACO today. We're at a rental, so we should get a good number of runs in. I have the laptop hooked up. Finally, I have HP tuners working. We set the this two-step to around 2,300 RPM. It makes boost pretty much instantly, so even that low, just on the pedal wide open, it's making like 12 pounds. So that should be fine. It's probably still gonna blow the tires off. First time with the two-step, we're gonna be leaving at almost full boost here. And I gotta remember to look at the shift light. Hopefully the transmission cooperates. It stuck for sure. There was no spinning. It just kind of bogged. Thanks. Another 11.1. 11.1 at 132. 60 foot. At 1.7 60 foot. That's the best 60 foot it's done yet. Your step helped. I mean, right out of the gate, we got a 1.7. It did a 10.9 at 133. So the second 10-second pass this thing made, two-step making a huge difference. 60 foot was a little bit worse. It's a 179. Before it was a 177. But if we could keep this thing from bogging, and if my damn shift light would work, I think we'd have something. All right, guys, so I'm at Tune Time Performance over in Lakewood, New Jersey. This is the shop where I have my car tuned. After I made those first two passes, I was messing with the two-step. I brought it from like 2,400, I think, up to like 2,600. Sat on it for maybe a second and a half. And then the engine just made this god-awful noise, and it's just tapping like crazy. I'm not sure if it's bottom-end noise. It sounds like it's coming from the passenger top like valve cover area. I'm going to start it up quick so you guys can hear it. But the owner, Matt, actually towed the car back over here with his trailer, and it's been sitting here over the weekend. This is my first time I'm actually looking at it. So I'm going to start it up for you real quick. Then we're going to go pull the valve cover. Hopefully we find like a broken valve spring or a broken rocker or something. Then I can just throw one in, drive it home. So that's what it sounds like. I actually have my stock valve springs just in case I gotta pop one in. Looks all right so far. Everything looks pretty much immaculate. The sound sounded like it was coming from back here, but everything's intact. I don't see any broken springs. Rockers are all intact. No needle bearings floating around. So it looks like the 5.3 is coming out. All right, so the car's back home. I left the valve cover off. Next thing I'm gonna do in an upcoming video is pull off the driver's valve cover. I mean, everything looks fine on the passenger side. That's where it seems like the noise is coming from. But before I go ripping the engine out of this thing, I'm gonna pull off that valve cover. If everything looks good in there, we'll pull the blower, pull the heads. It could possibly be a lifter. As I said, it sounds like it's coming from the upper passenger area. If it's not a lifter, it might be a wrist pin or a rod. But we're gonna pull the heads first and go from there. But a quick little recap for the track day. First of all, well, I want to thank Matt from Tune Time Performance because he actually towed the car back to the Tune Time shop, and then that's where I actually pulled it apart, looked at it, and then once I realized I couldn't really do much more, I had it towed back here. But he got me back from the track over to the shop, so that was a huge help. And I have the 2 time slips here for what the car did. Now, it actually ran the best it ever did as far as 60-foot goes. The first run right out of the gate with the 2-step on like 2200, I believe, it did an 11.1, which it usually does, at 132, but the 60-foot was a 1.77. So first hit with the 2-step, already the best 60-foot it ever did. Best it had before that was like a 1.88, I believe, and that was when it did the 10.8 last year. And that was at 132. Second run, it did a 1.79 60-foot. So back-to-back 1.7s. Never had that happen before. 2-step right away. Huge improvement over the consistency and the 60-foot. Granted, that could be a lot better, but we were having issues. Once the 2-step was turned off, it was dead hooking, but it would bog and then it would go. But I was just wide open right out of the gate. I didn't have to kind of lean into it. It was actually hooking really well. And from there, we were kind of dialing it up, bringing the RPM up a little bit to kind of get it not to bog. Now, keep in mind, I do have the stock torque arm in this still. I have the shocks. I think they're set halfway. I want to put them on full firm because I did notice that the rear end was bouncing a little bit as it would bog. But regardless, 60-foot already improved like instantly just by using the 2-step. And then that time was a 10.95 at 133. And I did log both of these runs. So as for why this happened, I really don't know. It could have just been something that was on its way out. It does have LS7 lifters in it, which are the good lifters to go with, if it's even a lifter problem. Like I said, we're not going to most likely pull the heads. But the time that it actually went, I was on a 2-step after the second run. I had it set to 20, it was first set to 22, then I brought it up to 24, and it was still bogging. So then we were bringing it up to 26, and in the pits getting ready for the third run, I set it up to 26. I had the laptop on to see what the RPM was, got on the 2-step for maybe a second and a half just to see it come up to boost and see the RPM stop at 26 where it's actually going to stop at. And then I just heard something let loose and it was just, it started ticking. But as for the tune, after each run, and I got a login, we'd go in there, take a look at it, make sure everything was good, adjust the fuel. It was a little rich at one point, so we leaned it out a bit. Made another run, everything was perfect. It was still slightly on the rich side, but everything was 100% safe, no knock. We actually added a degree of timing. That's when it picked up like a 1.5 miles. It went from the 132.1 to a 133.6. Once again, that log was 100% good. So for the third run, we left the timing and everything alone. And we were just going to bring the 2-step up slightly so we could get it to hopefully not bog. But I didn't have a chance to make that run because it just let go. As for what's next, if this is not easily repairable and the motor has to come out, honestly, I don't really mind. The only thing I was bummed about is I spent like $175 and we only got to make 2 runs. But the place was so busy, even if this didn't happen, I probably would have only got 1 run in anyway. I would have got 3 runs in total for the whole rental. So it was a public rental, so the whole thing was kind of like a wash. There was way too many people there. It was way too overpriced. I did get some good data though, as far as the 2-step. It made a huge difference. Granted, I may have blown my motor, but the car ran good. Did its best 60-foot yet. And I am pretty excited for what's going to happen next, because even though this 5.3 may potentially be dead, like I said, honestly, I wasn't too sad about it. I wanted to put something bigger in there. I bought this engine on Craigslist like 5.5 years ago for $300. I'm surprised it made it this far. So depending on what I find, I'll get into what my plan is next for this thing. But at a minimum, you guys are going to be seeing a lot of third-gen content between this and the Trans Am. It's kind of going to be fun because we're going to go in from kind of modified LS stuff on one side, and the other side we're going to have the Trans Am doing basically factory stock repairs, cleaning it up, and probably some mods to the stock small block. So we're going to have LsxMatt over here, stock small block over here. It should be a pretty fun winter. I'm not going to break into this just yet. I had to get this friggin' Malibu out of here. Next video you're going to see on this, I actually picked up a head unit. I'm going to install that tomorrow. And then the video after that, I'm just going to do the cleanup and then sell it. So you're probably going to get 2 more videos on that. I'm not going to really record the muffler and all the minor repairs. It's kind of just easy stuff I'm going to be doing to it. I'm going to fix the muffler gasket. There's also a little hole in the muffler. I'm just going to weld that up, put the door lock switch in, just wipe down the interior, and then it's off to the detailing, and I'm going to put the radio in. So you'll get 2 more videos on that. Then it's going to be mostly Camaro, Trans Am, and some Tahoe stuff because I actually do have a couple of repairs I still need to do on that before the winter hits. But for now, that's going to do it for this one, guys. I'll see you in a few days.